Hello, everybody. This is Geoff Laughton from yourrelationshiparchitect.com. And as you can see, I'm trying on my early Halloween costume idea. Vincent van Gogh, I was thinking of this year. So, just thought I would address what might be an elephant in the room visually. Welcome to my talk this morning on how long is your relationship going to last? And I would add, how long should it last? So first, let me say, in case this is your first time watching any of my videos, that what I do as a relationship architect is I work with individuals and couples, helping them design, build, and learn how to maintain their dream relationship. Their dream relationship with themselves, with a partner, and with life. Because you need all three to work together if you are in a relationship. So I help people that feel stuck in patterns that they may not fully recognize that are keeping them and their relationship at any level of stagnancy, lack of passion, lack of sex, lack of inspiration, lack of connection. So that by the time they've gotten done designing and building what they want, they're re-engaged, they're passionate about a number of things, their love life is back in full bloom, and they feel creatively inspired, and their level of aliveness and engagement with life is off the hook. And isn't that what we all want, really? So let me get to the topic for today. How long will your relationship last? Quick story about why I even decided I wanted to address this. I've had several couples recently, some that are relatively new in their relationship, some that have been together for decades. And with the younger, more kind of early stage couples, in looking at where things continually break down with them, getting to what's causing that, one of the number one things that causes any of that kind of stuff to go on in a relationship is fear. So digging down more into, well, what are they afraid of? And what ends up emerging an awful lot, frequently enough, that I thought, well, this would be a great idea to talk about, is I'm afraid it won't work out. Okay, tell me a little more. Well, I just don't, we're having these problems now. I'm not really sure what that means for whether this is really the right person for me. Because the right person for me, I'm going to be able to feel and know that they're the right one for the rest of my life. Okay. So I guess the first main point I want to make here is that if you have that fear, it obviously means that your mind is wanting to be able to get what the odds are that this commitment, this investment of heart, mind, body, spirit is going to pay off a return over the long haul. And here's the thing, everybody, you can't know that. There is no way to know that who you're with is going to be the right one for the rest of your life. If for no other reason than the fact that if you think you can really gauge that, you're totally making shit up. It's totally your mind going off into the future, wanting to be able to game the table, if you will. So, is this the right one forever? Is this the right one at all? Should not be based on any kind of assessment which is going to be really self-referential anyway, but is predicting the future at worst, that's not the place to be looking. Number one, where you want to be looking is, how is it for me to be with this person more often than not? How free do I feel to be me? See, that's the better question than, I wonder if they're going to work. No. Better question is to say, how much do I get to feel freed up, which is really also on you anyway, no matter who you're with, by the way, but just roll with me. So how much do I feel free to be authentic, vulnerable, and myself? And this is equally relevant to if you're single and looking for someone, you're in a relatively short-term relationship thus far, or a long-term one. Do I get to really feel fully free to stretch out and lean in to being with this person, bringing all of me that I've got the guts to bring, including all the hairy, the stuff that feels hairy, shitty about ourselves. Ooh, can I really show that? If you can't bring all of that, then you're not likely with the right person. They may not be the right person. Here's the other thing you want to be asking and noticing. Are they leaning in at a level comparable or even beyond what I am? Are they inviting me to be exactly who I am, how I am, starting with a basic compatible resonance with that naturally invites you to want to let more out, to experiment, to kind of wild yourself up a bit, if you will. When you've got something like that, here's what you know. And you don't even know then if this is the one forever. But what you can know is they probably, particularly if you do some of the other design work that I talk and write about a lot, to make sure that you've got enough comparable values, you've got enough common interests to kind of hang the relationship hat on, okay? But if you've got all that, then here's what you may know, is you may really be able to feel at a gut level. Don't rely solely on this, because if you do that, you're screwed. But if your gut, your intuition, your spirit is saying, you know what, this person feels like they would be a great traveling companion for me on the road to my own development and unfoldment, my own evolution that gets me more alive, feeling awake, vibrant. That's a roller coaster ride, whether you're in a relationship or not. So who would you rather be in a roller coaster car with, that if you got sick and puked, they'd be able to roll with that, or vice versa? That this is a fun person to ride the ride with. That's the more important question than how long will my relationship last. Because there's no way of knowing that. You get together with somebody when you're in your 20s, like I did with my wife, and decade after decade goes by, you have kids, you go through the stuff that life will put you through, decade after decade when you live long enough. How well do you roll, adapt, flow, collaborate through all those? That's the much more relevant question. That's the thing that you want to be looking out for, watching, paying attention to. And even then, everybody, there are no guarantees. We know that intellectually, but in the 21 years I've been coaching couples and individuals, that one seems to be one of the most difficult ones for them to get. So start looking more at how much do I feel comfortable to let some guards down, to be really open, to share stuff that maybe in the past you've talked about with other partners, or you've even talked with your spouse if you're married, and had negative reaction. Well, okay, you don't want to say this isn't the right thing for me on one or two negative reactions. But if you're able to talk with them, continue telling the truth, and even if it kind of gets hairy and scary, that you're able to still hang in there. Well, then, okay. Then you might have something. And it's a continual, in my experience, being in my marriage for almost 37 years, that's got to be a periodic reevaluation, reassessment. Because I've really become clear that the ideal we have, at least in the US, that you marry someone for life, I think that's an outdated concept. If it ends up that way, great. But you're marrying someone for an entire, if you go into it planning on being committed for life, you're committing to growing into your life and letting your life take you where it's meant to take you, but with an open heart, open mind, and realizing that you can't predict anything. So resiliency is the key. How resilient is this person you're with or thinking of being with? Do they spur you onto a higher level of resilience? If that's showing up and you're having fun and you have chemistry, then you might have something. But give your relationship an even greater shot by taking pressure off of continually trying to make sure that it's going to last until your dying day. That's not taking away from the importance of commitment. But when you say, I'm committed to you for the rest of my life, there's an inherent agreement that can be tricky in there that says, oh, and I will sacrifice any growth or way that life is evolving me, chiseling away at my bullshit identities or personas that I have. And I'm not going to, I'll hang on to all that so we can be together for our entire life. Short-sighted and unrealistic, in my opinion. Okay, thank you very much for spending this time. And I don't see any questions. So if you enjoyed today, please feel free to share. If you want to learn more, if you're interested in more of my videos, or if you're interested in exploring the books that I've written about relationship, or you just want to talk and ask some questions about your own relationship, then you can go to yourrelationshiparchitect.com. You can look my books up on Amazon. You can go on to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/buildyourdreamrelationship. And by all means, please just feel free to email me, Geoff, Geoff, at yourrelationshiparchitect.com. Okay. Thank you very much. Take in what I've shared today. If you've got comments, objections, questions, email me. Best thing to do. All right, everybody. Have an outrageous day or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and love outrageously.